Ashli Babbitt, for all you guys that don't remember, she was a veteran, I believe Air Force veteran that went to the Capitol on January 6th to just protest. I don't use the I word because I think it's absolute horseshit. The settlement in principle has been reached between the U.S. government and the family of Ashli Babbitt, who was shot by Capitol Police while attempting to breach the Speaker's lobby during the January 6th Capitol gathering. The $30 million wrongful death.
Gathering. Yeah. The celebration against corruption.
Yeah.
That was a great pivot.
Thank you.
Gathering.
The guided tour where they stayed within the velvet ropes.
Yeah, $30 million wrongful death lawsuit alleging the unnecessary and negligent force by Lieutenant Michael Byrd. Through internal investigations by the Justice Department and Capitol Police found Byrd acted appropriately and may have saved lives. And by the way, all Democratic-run House, all that shit, all these people
shoot an unarmed 115-pound woman in the throat and
yeah.
claim you save lives, you
and
coward.
the settlement remains undisclosed. I guess the parties are, it's all but done. They're all going to sign it. Her death has become a rallying cause for Trump supporters, intensifying the political controversy surrounding the case. And I want to ask the chat, and I don't know if you guys remember, are we going to show, we can't show her laying there or anything like that, but there is the shot. We do have the shot. Rob, I don't know how much of this. Can we just play this? And I just want to warn everybody, there is going to be a gunshot. And mind you guys, as you guys can tell, nobody here is armed. Okay? The only person that's armed are the police, and there's another cop on the other side. So if you want to play this, and I want to ask the chat a question, play the clip. Rob, is that Rob?
I've actually filmed. So you wouldn't be able to see me.
Guys, camera staff.
Let me through. I got a knife. I got a knife.
Get me through. I got a knife.
I got a knife.
Oh, because they're trying to get through the glass, I guess.
By the way, who knows how many feds are in there?
Oh, I'd say
yeah.
most of the ones with their faces covered.
Most of them are. Look at cops. Well, the fact that they're wearing masks makes me
Oh, those are the cops.
And Congress is in
there. These are just chambers. It's not like there's gold in there. There's not an armory in there. That's Ashli Babbitt in the back.
Wait, look to the left mirror. You'll see the handgun.
We want you to go home. I'm recording, and there's so many people. It's just they're gonna push their way
We
up
skip
here.
forward slightly. We'll get to.
it's almost there.
It's almost at the end.
I don't want to see you get hurt. We will
Look in the back.
We will make a dead ass.
I think someone says he's got a gun, but Ashli.
Nobody had a gun.
No. They're saying the cop because he's pointing. He starts to point. They see it before Ashli gets up on the crowd.
No, try to get through. There's still a few minutes left in the video, so if you skip forward.
Oh yeah, skip forward.
Because you see, they start to break the window, and this is kind of where it comes out.
I mean, this is where you.
Yeah, I don't get how this is wrongful.
No. I mean,
You don't get how this is
I
wrongful.
don't
get how shooting her was wrongful.
No,
No, you'll see right here. Watch. So they're trying to get in there.
Right there. It's all right
There's
on the
Michael
left.
Byrd, right there.
He's pointing a gun.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
him?
Yeah.
He has no reason to have the gun out. Look. He's pointing a gun. Look at his shot. Oh, dude.
She's about to climb.
Okay, now stop. You can stop it right there. Now, do you guys... Okay, listen. They're breaking in. They're trying to come in, okay? No threat. No gun. No knife.
Well, some will say that is the threat.
Yeah, they're a violent mob.
No, violent mob. Nobody's armed. But hold on. They haven't killed anybody. They haven't done anything. Guess what you do? You leave the building. Get the hell out of the building.
At the very least, deploy non-lethal measures like pepper spray, rubber bullets, tear gas, whatever. They were tear gassing people out front, so clearly they had it. But this goes to the point that the Capitol Police were deliberately not reinforced. Trump requested the National Guard be present. Nancy Pelosi denied it. The Capitol Police requested additional personnel. They were denied. They were deliberately set up to where they were in a position of being desperate and short-staffed against an aggressive mob that, was like, what, 40, 50%
Oh, that's
feds
true,
at
but
least?
she's an idiot for trying to climb through the window where Congress is. Like, of course you're going to get shot. What do you think is going to happen if you go to Trump's limo?
That's where I've at the beginning, people said, like, FAFO, fuck around, find out, or play stupid games, win stupid prizes. summary execution is not what you expect from, even you call it felony trespass. You don't expect to get summarily executed when there was, by all reasons, no reason to even escalate to lethal force within that proximity of time. So, yeah, you accept maybe you get beaten up. You say maybe you're taking some serious risks by doing that. But within the realm of plausible outcomes, getting executed by a, if race plays a role in when it's a white cop on a black victim, a black cop shooting an unarmed white woman, he doesn't know she's unarmed. There's no reason to do that. Imagine if at any point during BLM riots, a white cop summarily executed a black protester who was trying to enter the courthouse.
You were just trying to hold down the
They're
CVS.
outnumbered like 10-1 though. Like if a group of 10
but that's why you retreat. They did evacuate.
But
You
they were
evacuate.
stuck in that room.
Well, but
No, that hallway? No, there's a
just a whole other half of the
corridor.
building.
There's doors to leave the building, number one. Number two, Brandon, besides them turning down National Guard, besides the setup to make everything happen exactly how it was going to happen, that's why all these people got freaking pardoned and released. Look,
Yeah, I agree with that.
hold on, plain and simple. So now they're at this door. Mind you, they were let into the Capitol. The doors are open. Cops were giving them the okay. Now they get to this sacred chamber and you lock them in. Open the thing, let them go through. They're going to be walking through anywhere. Now you've created this funnel where everybody's in there. Then they start breaking the door. He's been pointing his gun out. Zero excuse, Brandon. That's why you, me, him, the government is going to pay with our tax dollars $30 million to her family because he's a wrongful death. He shouldn't have pulled out his gun and he shouldn't have shot him. They open the door, let these freaking maniacs walk through and do what they're going to do. If you feel threatened, if they come up to you with the stick and try to stab you, boom, 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 shoot everybody. That's how it is. He's a Capitol Police. You're not an executioner. Let her jump through. She's a fucking girl. What is she going to do? Pull her hair?
Were members of Congress in that room?
Some of them were. Everybody in that building
Most
on the other
of
side
them
was
had
all
probably
covered.
been evacuated.
I remember
by
hearing
this
that
point.
members of Congress were past that door.
Brandon, do you believe anything that they say
No,
about who was there?
I don't.
I don't believe none of them.
Flip side, I mean, and this is not to say like shoot him in the leg or shoot him in the arm. That's not plausible. But pepper spray, taser. I mean, it would have been much. Pepper spray in that instance would have been.
Brandon, one pepper spray. I don't know if you've been pepper sprayed. Everybody's leaving,
and not just
including
that,
the cops on the other side.
And not just that,
Yeah.
like then you learn after the fact that Michael Byrd has had a tumultuous time as a police officer. He left his firearm in the Capitol Police Building washroom for an extended period of time before he realized he forgot it there.
Did you see how he was pointing
There's
his gun?
photos of him just before this incident where he's inside the congressional chamber. He's holding his gun with his finger on the trigger pointed at members of Congress and other congressional staff because he has no muzzle discipline.
Yeah.
And he's like, he very easily could have shot and killed members of Congress himself. He was probably the biggest threat to them in
No,
that
he
room
did.
that day.
No question he was.
And you can't even really say he was specifically aiming for Ashli Babbitt. He basically just
shot.
fired blindly into a
And by
crowd
the way,
because they scared him.
I know, by the way, I'm an expert on guns. I know how to shoot. I'm nasty. Just the way he was holding it and the way he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. That guy's not a freaking professional, and that's what happens. And that's how you lose $30 million going to her family. And I want to ask the audience. I want to ask you guys. Do you guys agree with the government settlement? Yes? No?
Maybe so.
Maybe so.
Did you know how
It's
much?
not a shocking outcome though. It's just not a shocking outcome to like be breaking the Congress and then try to break through a door where police are on the other side of it. And like you get like I'm not shocked that she got shot.
Oh,
Like,
of course not. I'm not trying to say, it's some big mystery that,
you should expect to get shot if you're trying to
Exactly.
break
Everyone
through a
who
door
went
in
there should
Congress.
have assumed that by the time you start breaking doors and throwing things, that they're going to start arresting people. They're going to start sending you to
But
jail.
it's not as if guys, the mob was killing anybody. It was all Nobody died except people had strokes and shit days later. The only people that died were her. She was shot and fucking murdered. Period. And one other person.
Roseanne Boyland, who was trampled by the police.
Who was trampled by police officers.
Well, if we're going to assume that those people are going to break in and they have bad intentions, is it that big of a stretch for the officer that's behind that glass to assume that those people have weapons?
no.
Right? So, like, I disagree with shooting the woman to death, but at the same time, that officer is in a situation where people already broke the law by breaching the Capitol and being inside of a place trespassing. at a minimum, at a maximum destruction of property.
But particularly now,
They have the mindset
like
of overthrowing the
in
government.
a modern context, cops aren't allowed to shoot on the assumption that you have a
No,
gun.
no, that's-
they have to.
Bro.
They are only allowed to escalate to lethal violence when they are met with the threat of lethal violence.
There was nothing
Ashley
lethal.
Babbitt was very clearly not holding anything when she was going
and
through
guess
that
what?
window.
He's protecting the chamber. You know what you asked? All those people in that looking out those corridors, leave the building, exit out the back. Oh, but by the way, there's no National Guard to protect you. Why? Because Nancy Pelosi and them fucking denied it and said, no, we don't want it. Why? Because they wanted this exact situation to happen.
I'm surprised that Trump has not called for some type of
He
investigation
has
into
repeatedly.
Why haven't they opened
That's
one?
part of why this is
Settlement
going on.
happened.
The settlement is going on because remember the Biden administration did an investigation with the Capitol Police and they said good shoot, nothing happened. This was an interview that Michael Byrd did shortly after. He said he saved a lot of lives by shooting her in the neck. But Trump repeatedly called for, identify the person who did it. We need to, be looking into this. This was not a good shoot. He talked about it during his, subsequent years out of office and then his campaign as well. So I think that's probably why they've reached a settlement.
Not Ashli Babbitt. I'm talking about at the actual videotape that we've seen of Nancy Pelosi denying the request of the National Guard to be sent. Why is he not investigating that? Why is there not some type of investigation into what was the protocols that were put in place that day or the resources that were withheld from the Capitol Police and the Capitol building itself to allow this to happen?
He's
Well, now
slacking.
Dan Bongino is deputy director at the FBI, and Dan Bongino is going hard on the Jan 6 being the pipe bombs being an inside job. Give it a little bit of time, but don't let up on the pressure for them to come out with the truth of what happened there. Just a little trivia. You know that Michael Byrd started a Go F Me after this? You know how much he raised?
How much?
$165,000
For killing somebody.
For killing
Wow,
somebody.
what a
And
fucking-
there
what a
was.
way to go.
I'm not going to get too conspiratorial, but there was. I couldn't find the email right now, but there was discussion where, he was complaining about the fact that he wasn't getting enough compensation to increase security, all this other stuff after the kill. But the other thing that's amazing is you spend enough time on the internet. I get emails and messages from people who say Ashli Babbitt's not dead, and you can see in that video he shoots the plane, whatever. What do you have here we don't know if it's the full $30 million that the government's settling for, but you have the Trump administration agreeing to this settlement to highlight the egregious injustice that was carried out under the Biden administration.
Good.
That man should be in jail. He didn't follow protocol in terms of escalation to lethal force. He was an incompetent jackass from the beginning. He didn't save anybody. It's arguable that he was out there to make an example of one of the protesters, so the media can then say, "Look how violent this protest was."
How about a warning shot, Brandon? How about you shoot?
No, you
shoot
can't
in
do
the-
that. You
no-
can't
no
do that.
warning
There's
shot.
people-
How long do you wait though? Like she's trying to climb through. She gets through. Then what? Like how
She
long do
gets
you
through
wait?
wait
And
until
Brandon,
there is
hold
the
on.
threat of lethal force.
What is a female going to do to you?
She could have a bomb in the bag.
Like
I'll steel man it. She could have a bomb in the bag.
And the whole group code came through once she gets through. That's opening up.
But Brandon, and what are they doing? They're just trying to go through the whole Capitol. They didn't pummel anybody. They
No,
didn't
but
beat up
there's-
Some
anybody.
people are going there with the mindset
You're
of
not
overthrowing the government.
allowed to just start opening fire into
That's
a
the
crowd
point.
on
You're
the
also
assumption
not allowed
that
to break into the Capitol
I mean, come
building.
on. What are we talking about?
But there's not the
consequence for trespass.
Yes, there is.
The consequence for trespass is not summary execution.
So Brandon,
Wait, hold on though. If you break into my home, I don't know what your intentions are. If I have a gun, I'm shooting you. The Castle Doctrine, it exists here in the state of
But
Florida.
this is
right.
let me clarify that. The people's building. This is government property.
a government building
property,
defended by
hold on.
cops, not
government
private
property.
residents.
Not breaking into someone's abode, which
Brandon,
is
here's
far
my question.
different.
So, and it is a
Yeah,
government
Brandon.
Yeah,
government
hit me.
property. Let's say the door opens. Let's say they open. They all come through. Is he going to shoot everybody? Is
No.
he going to empty his? Well, why not?
no.
Because now the door's breached. Because by the way, they still got in there afterwards. So the door gets open. Do you think he gets it? Well, he probably has like 15 round clip. Should he just shoot everybody that's coming through that door? Think
No.
about it. Wait. So then why? Because she breached first. She gets shot. And then that's it.
and notice he only
think
fired
I
once.
think you have the reason to be afraid for like your safety if somebody's trying to break through a door that's closed.
Then he should have. Guess what? In that hole, shoot everybody else because they're inevitably going to come through and try to kill you.
But
Then-
they didn't continue to try going through though. From
no.
the-
After once they got her out, they all freaking
Yeah,
kept
because
trying to
turns
go
out
through.
once you're met with the trigger happy cop who shoots women in the throat, you tend to not continue going that direction.
Listen, and listen. There's no way the government, Trump or whoever, is going to agree to settle $30 million unless it was a wrongful death. That guy has no business pulling the trigger and shooting somebody. And the way that he was holding it, and she saw it. You're not supposed to shoot the person. I'm sorry. It's a shitty situation. The last thing you do is pull the trigger and then ask questions last.
What do you
Was the Biden
but
administration-
not just that. He could have just as easily killed one of the cops that was guarding the door,
Of
or a
course,
cop
a
behind
ricochet.
her.
What do you mean
It goes
ricochet?
through her. It's but people are going to they're going to accuse Trump of politicizing the settlement by paying her this. What they're going to say is an egregious amount of money simply to make the Biden administration look bad. The bottom line is they need to right a lot of the wrongs from the Biden administration. Jan 6 settlements should be upcoming as well. There's a number of persecutions and lawfare that the Biden administration initiated or didn't pursue that the Trump administration should rectify right now.
Yeah, well, guess what?
What do you think?
Good for her. Good for her.
What do you think would happen if you go to the governor's mansion right now and you just like jump the gate and like run to the door?
Well, it just happened.
You start trying to break into the door.
You can burn it down if you burn it away.
Like in Florida, not
governor's
not
residence
Pennsylvania.
That government, that's his private residence.
That's a private residence. It's not a
mansion,
government
but
building.
His house and his family sleep.
What happened to the
it's a
people who
closed
took over
building.
the police station in Chop Chaz?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing.
They
Yeah.
got settlements. I mean, that's an exaggeration, I think.
Literally.
They built
No,
the
I'm
settlement
saying in a normal
the
place
city.
like Florida.
About
No,
6
but
I
this
just-
is
I don't
somebody's
remember which
house at
one.
night when they're sleeping, private residence when they're sleeping with their family, and somebody breaks in and
You're
burns the
asking
whole
for
thing down.
death.
You get to protect yourself. This is a whole different situation. You get your dumb ass out of there. Go save yourself.
Flip side,
Go down the hallway. Open the
imagine
door
they're-
and let them go through.
No, imagine they're breaking into a Walmart for Black Friday. I mean, like you don't get to open fire.
No, but it's a closed building with people that people
it's not
want
a closed
want to
building.
go.
no,
That's
it's
the whole
not. It's a
point.
government building.
When it's
also
in
the-
session, it's closed. It's not constantly open.
The number of times they have allowed protesters much further into the Capitol during
all the time.
leftist events.
Yeah.
They got in an elevator with Kavanaugh. Execution. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
there
like-
are leftist groups that have bombed the congressional chamber before. The Weather Underground, I believe, was one of the ones that pulled that off.
It's an uncontrolled situation with people that are in Congress. In
Yeah,
that
that's
door,
what
You
you
don't
that's why
exert
you're-
control over the situation by shooting people
it's not
indiscriminately.
it's not Tiananmen Square. You don't like it's not 2014 Ukraine either. You don't open fire on protesters in the street.
Yeah, it's not, Brandon. I get what you're saying.
I appreciate
about the situation. The last thing you do when you're a cop, Capitol Police, military, anything. The last resort is pull out your fucking gun and shoot somebody
Point
to
blank,
death.
point
And a
blank.
veteran female of all things. That's the last thing you do. Period. It's unless you're physically like he's coming at me with a knife or I feel like I'm threatened. And mind you, in the street, if you're gonna get jumped by 20 people and you feel like you're like, he doesn't have to be there. Get your dumb ass down the hallway. Get the fuck outside. There's a bunch of cops on the opposite side. Leave the situation. He wanted to use his gun. He's standing there pointing, waiting, and the way he shot it, that guy doesn't look like he knows shit about a gun. And from what you're saying, leaving it there and pointing it at other people in Congress, that guy has no business. I'm happy that the family's getting the money. To hell with him and to hell with all the Biden administration and Nancy Pelosi for letting that shit happen. The secret's out. We know what the hell they did. They thought using that situation was going to hurt Trump. Okay? They thought grabbing by the was going to hurt Trump. They thought Russia collusion was going to hurt Trump. Nothing has worked. Nothing. And this was their main one because they knew he was going to run in 2020 and that was going to help.
That
They
did
knew
work.
it, and it helped.
That did
And it
work
helped.
short term.
That with COVID.
That's what censored him.
Exactly. They shut him up. So, but guess what? Back, winning. So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.